Hi everyone, my name is Kelly Keekley. I'm Executive Assistant to Village Manager Keener. Manager Keener is out of the office for the week and he asked me on his behalf to read the agenda into the recording for you so you can see what we're going to talk about at the next board meeting, which is scheduled for Monday, November 23rd, 2019, beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. So here we go. Number first on the agenda, we have a call to order, or the roll call. Number 2, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. Number 3, we have public comments on agenda items. And we wanted to make sure you guys knew the village appreciates the public's patience and cooperation as we attempt to reduce the community spread of COVID-19. We remain committed to a transparent and open government during this difficult time. In consideration of healthy social distancing practices, participation in this meeting is encouraged in any of the following ways. Number 1, you can email your questions to Village Manager Keener in advance of the meeting at rkeenerjr, it's KEEHNERJR, at invillapark.com. Manager Keener will read the comments into the public record at the appropriate time. Please make sure to include "read into public record" in the subject line of your message. Number 2, you can watch the meeting live on YouTube by following the Village of Villa Park, or you can watch the Government Access channel, which is Comcast Channel 6 or AT&T Channel 99. And finally, number 3, if members of the public are interested in attending in person and are symptom-free, social distancing will be utilized to mitigate the community spread of disease. However, per the governor's order, all gatherings of more than 10 people are prohibited and attendance will be monitored at the door. Those attending in person will be required to wear a proper face covering. Okay, number 4, amendments to the agenda. Number 5, we're going to have this time a budget workshop. This is the next step in our budget approval process for the fiscal year 2021. So the proposed 12-month budget for the fiscal year beginning on January 1st, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2021 has been on file and is conveniently available for public inspection in Village Hall and is on the Village's website. A public hearing will be held on Monday, December 7th, 2020 at 6:45 p.m. to accept public comment on the proposed FY21 budget. Following the public hearing, the first reading of the budget adoption ordinance will be held at the regular board meeting. The second reading of the budget adoption ordinance will occur at the board meeting held on December 21st, 2020. So this is the first public discussion that we're having and opening up the discussion with the community about the budget. We're going to have a presentation about what the budget is that has been put together by staff, and the board will be able to ask questions. And then on the first meeting in December, we're going to have a public hearing where the public can come and comment, and they'll have an opportunity to look over the budget and say what they want to and make their statements at that point in time, and that's December 7th. But tonight's, November 23rd, 5A is FY21 Operations, the presentation of the operations budget. Manager Keener and Director Scheibel will present an overview of the proposed 2021 operating budget. And 5B, FY21 Capital Projects. Manager Keener, Director Guerra, and Public Works staff will present an overview of the 5-year capital improvements plan for 2021 to 2025. And that should be the end of that, but that should be some good discussion. Number 6, the consent agenda. 6A is the bill listing for the weeks of November 9th and November 16th, 2020, in the total amount of $539,840.13. Number 6B is the minutes from the board meeting held on November 9th, 2020. And 6C is the minutes from the public hearing held on November 9th, 2020. Number 7 is the first reading of ordinances to be codified. 7A, the first reading of an ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, increasing the number of Class D1 full package convenience store liquor licenses for the package sale of alcoholic liquor. And to explain this item for you, we have Villa Park Heroes Incorporated, which is located at 340 West St. Charles Road and doing business as Villa Park Exxon, has recently purchased the former 7-Eleven building with plans to open a convenience store offering the sale of packaged alcoholic liquor to customers. The owner, Mr. Stephen George, has requested a Class D1 full package convenience store liquor license. If approved, this ordinance will bring the total number of Class D1 licenses to 3. So, as a brief explanation, the 7-Eleven building that used to be on the corner of Addison and St. Charles Road is owned by a new company, which is called Villa Park Exxon. They want to open up Villa Park Heroes, which will be a gas station and a convenience store where they want to sell alcohol. And so this is an opportunity for they want like the liquor license to do so. Moving on, number 8A, which is ordinances. Ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, establishing temporary executive powers pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Sections 8-301 to 8-308 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, 65 ILCS 5-1116 of the Illinois Municipal Code, and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Act. It is the policy of the Village of Villa Park that the village be prepared to address any emergency. Therefore, in response to the significant outbreak of the coronavirus or COVID-19 in the United States, pursuant to Chapter 8, Article 3, Sections 8-301 to 8-308 of the Villa Park Municipal Code, 65 ILCS 5-1116 of the Illinois Municipal Code, and 20 ILCS 3305-11 of the Illinois Emergency Management Act, it is necessary and appropriate to authorize the village president to exercise extraordinary power and authority by executive order during the state of disaster and emergency to ensure that the effects of COVID-19 are mitigated and minimized and that residents and visitors of the village remain safe and secure. This ordinance extends the temporary executive powers contained in Ordinance 4170, approved by the Village Board on November 9th, 2020, until such time that the Village Board can reconvene in an open meeting. Folks, we've been doing this since March when the first stay-at-home orders originally came out. It's just in case, basically. It gives the village president authority to authorize extraordinary power in the case that is needed. All right, moving on, number 8B. Ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, authorizing the sale of surplus property owned by the Village of Villa Park. Medic 80 is a 2009 MedTech ambulance Ford E450 with a Ford chassis being used as a reserve ambulance when frontline medic units, which is Medic 81 and 82, are out of service due to maintenance. Medic 80 is 11 years old and requires increased maintenance costs that outweigh its usefulness as a reserve fire department ambulance. It is recommended that the 2009 MedTech ambulance be declared as a surplus personal property and authorized for sale via Obanoff Auction Service, Incorporated, eBay Auctions, an independent dealer, or by word of mouth with a minimum bid of $4,500. Proceeds from the sale of Medic 80 will be placed into the Equipment Replacement Fund. Revenue account number 65-410-15. Number 8C, Ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, granting a variation to allow a tent-covered outdoor seating area during the winter months, which is November 1st through April 30th, at 324 East Central Boulevard, which is a property owned by Jack Kozar, who's the petitioner. The petitioner seeks approval of a variance for the business known as Fuel and Cream, which is a bar and ice cream stand. This item was tabled during the November 9th, 2020 board meeting. This ordinance would allow the business to seat customers in a temporary tent structure on the property between the months of November and April, which is currently prohibited in Village Code. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted in opposition of this variance. The petitioner indicates that the variance is necessary for Fuel and Cream to continue to thrive and grow as a business. So this item was discussed at the November 9th board meeting. For various reasons, the board asked that it be tabled and rediscussed at the meeting on November 23rd. It's a request made by Mr. Jack Kozar of Fuel and Cream, and they want to allow outdoor seating in a tent structure outside of their building, which is prohibited by code. So that's where the variance comes into play. Number 8D. Ordinance of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, amending liquor license renewal fees for establishments with poor licenses for 2021. The small business owners and restaurants of Villa Park have been some of the most profoundly impacted by the governor's stay-at-home orders in resulting actions taken in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. With this in mind, Liquor Commissioner and Village President Al Bolthus would like to reduce the 2021 liquor license renewal fees to $10 for any establishment holding a pour license in one of the following classifications: AAA, AA, C, quadruple E, triple E, double E, I, X, and Z. Approval of this ordinance would reduce the renewal fees for only those establishments currently holding one of the aforementioned classes of license. The ordinance sunsets on December 31st, 2021. So, as an explanation, we understand that businesses, and especially those restaurants and Villa Park businesses, have been really hard hit by the fact that the governor's stay-at-home orders. And so President Bolthus has decided that he'd like to reduce the license fees, liquor license fees for 2021 for those restaurants that weren't allowed to open in 2021, down to $10, to try and give them a little relief from the financial strain and the strain of that COVID has put on all the businesses, and that's just another way to support them as much as we can. So, number 8E, ordinance providing for the issuance of $671,890 general obligation limited tax bonds, Series 2020 of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, and for the levy of a direct annual tax to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds. In 2017, the village issued alternate revenue bonds to refund TIF 3 debt certificates as part of a strategy to address insufficient TIF 3 revenue. These alternate revenue bonds are to be funded by rollover bonds issued each fall, which are then paid back using our non-home rule debt service extension base. The rollover bonds were competitively bid on Thursday, November 19th. The attached ordinance shows the favorable rate received during the competitive bid process. Number 9, resolutions. 9A, resolution of the Village of Villa Park, DuPage County, Illinois, approving an agreement with Passport Parking LLC to provide electronic payment services. In 2012, the village entered into an agreement with Passport Parking LLC to provide commuters a mobile pay option when parking in a metro lot. Passport Parking LLC has updated their service agreements and has requested that an extension of the village's previous contract. The new agreement is titled a sophomore license and service agreement and does not change any of the costs or services provided to village commuters, to the village or commuters. So basically, we've been working with a contract with Passport Parking LLC. That's how folks use the metro station and pay for their parking electronically. The company, Passport Parking, would like to update their service contract, and that's all this is. It's just an approval of that contract, which just doesn't change any of the services or costs to Villa Park residents or commuters. Number 10, public comments on non-agenda items. That's an opportunity for anyone from the public to come and talk about things that are not on the agenda that you might have or want to talk to them about and address the board about. So the village appreciates the public's patience and cooperation as we attempt to reduce the community spread of COVID-19. We remain committed to a transparent and open government during this difficult time. In consideration of healthy social distancing practices, participation in this meeting is encouraged in any of the following ways. Number 1, email your questions to Village Manager Keener in advance of the meeting at rkeenerjr@invillapark.com. Manager Keener will read the comments into the public record at the appropriate time. Please make sure to include "read into public record" into the subject of your message. That way he doesn't miss it when he's going through his emails, which he doesn't typically, but that will help bring his attention to it. Number 2, watch the meeting live on YouTube and by following the Village of Villa Park or the Government Access Channel, which is Comcast Channel 6 or AT&T Channel 99. Number 3, if members of the public are interested in attending in person and are symptom-free, social distancing will be utilized to mitigate the community spread of disease. However, per the governor's order, all gatherings of more than 10 people are prohibited and attendance will be monitored at the door. Those attending in person will be required to wear a proper face covering. Number 11 is the village clerk's report. Number 12 is the village trustees report. Number 13 is the village president's report. Number 14 is the village manager's report, Manager Keener. And number 15 is adjournment. So that's all we've got. It's a kind of a big agenda. We've got some interesting topics to discuss. I know that the budget workshop should be illuminating, and we hope that you can be there, or at least participate in some way. If you want to send your questions to Manager Keener, he would love to see them, or if you want to come in person, we would love to have you. We'll be distancing and observing all those nice things. So my name is Kelly Keekley. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to read you this agenda. Have a great night.